In the name of God, the matrix power, compassionate absolute, praise be to God, sustainer of the worlds. Dear brothers and sisters, may your moments always be good. A new encounter and a new episode on the meanings and implications of synonymy. In this episode, we will dive directly into the concept of the Shahada and the derivations of the concept of the Shahada. This episode is very important because it is considered constitutive in the field of synonymy, and it will also address a sub-rule called the varied plurals of a singular. This rule is exclusive to the Qur'an. It is not found in official Arabic grammar. For example, grammar divides the plural into sound feminine plural, sound masculine plural, irregular plural. But these classifications add no nuance, especially if those plurals come from a singular word. For example, in Arabic or in popular usage, we do not distinguish between the plurals ayun and uyun. We assume they carry the same meaning. Both are just plurals of ayn, and that's it. But the Qur'an gives them precise nuance. In the same way, it gives nuance to the different meanings carried by the various plurals of the concept of Shahada. For example, in the Qur'an we find the plural shuhada, the plural shuhud, the plural shahidin, and the plural ashhad. All of them share the singular, either Shahid or Shahiid. Therefore, we must clarify the difference between the concept of Shahid and the concept of Shahiid, and how the singular Shahid is pluralized and how the singular Shahiid is pluralized. First, Shahada in general means to issue testimony that results in confirming and making a decision about a specific matter. That is to say, in short, without philosophizing, giving testimony, friends, is to issue a judgment. When you testify, it means you confirmed a fact, took a stance, and made a judgment about it. And when the judge in an investigation, whether in a crime or any other case, says to you, that is your witness, Sháa-hid. Here you look for the person who can confirm or testify to a fact. And the judge makes a decision based on that testimony to support your case. Because we must know, friends, that the one who testifies does not need to have been present at the events. In fact, Shahid, that is the witness who testifies, is not present. The one who is present is the Shahid, the eyewitness. Therefore, not everyone who gives testimony supporting your case was necessarily present at the specific event. Because a doctor can testify in a murder case without having been present. What is called the forensic doctor, the coroner, he examines and determines the cause of death, whether it's acute circulatory failure, skull fracture, artery obstruction, based on the analysis of the body, but he was not present at the murder itself, yet he presents testimony and states that the deceased died from a sharp object or from a gunshot, or determines the depth of the wound. He is a witness, therefore the Shaheed is the one who requires eyewitness presence with hearing and sight. The Shaheed, friends, is the one whose ears and eyes were present at the event. This is the Shaheed. This has nothing to do with piety or faith, friends. The idea of the Shaheed killed in war, like saying martyr means Shaheed, that is absolutely not true. He is Shaheed because he was present in that war, even if he was on the enemy's side. That is to say, Abu Jahl is a Shaheed. To get straight to the point regarding the Battle of Badr, Abu Jahl is a Shaheed. Do not be surprised, it is the truth. Why? Because he was present with his ears and eyes, he died there. But the correct term that should be used for the person who died defending justice is those who were killed in the path of God. Did our sustainer say to consider them martyrs or witnesses? It says, do not consider those who were killed in the path of God as dead but alive with their sustainer receiving provisions. How are they described? They are called those who were killed in the path of God. That is why we should not say such a person is a Shaheed, to avoid deceiving others into thinking he was right forgiven and will intercede for 70. That is a fallacy. What we say is that such a person was killed in the path of God, but do not say Shaheed. If you say that person is a Shaheed, you are attributing to him the quality of having been present at the event. But whether he was right or wrong is another matter. This is regarding the Shaheed. And that is why God, glorified be He, is described as such. It is impossible that our sustainer would describe himself as Shaheed. That is, do not say that God gives non-eyewitness testimony between you and me. That is wrong. To attribute the quality of non-eyewitness testimony to God is a deficiency. God is Shaheed because He is present with hearing and sight with us at all times. And God is the eyewitness to everything. This concept is clarified in the dialogue at the end of Surah Al-Ma'idah that took place between God, glorified be He, and Jesus, son of Mary. When God said, "O Jesus, son of Mary, did you tell the people to take you and your mother as two gods besides God?" He said, "Glory be to you. It is not for me to say what I have no right to say. If I had said it, you would have known it. You know what is within me, and I do not know what is within you." Truly you are the knower of the unseen. I only told them what you commanded me, to worship God, my sustainer and their sustainer, and I was an eyewitness over them. Here is the argument or evidence. I was an eyewitness, Shahiid, over them while I was among them. But when you took me, you were the watcher over them, and you are the eyewitness of all, Shahiid. If you punish them, indeed they are your servants, and if you forgive them, indeed you are the mighty, until the end of the verses. The word Shahiid is clear. While Shahid, as the Egyptian comedian Adel Imam said, is the one who saw nothing. Shahid, friends, is the non-eyewitness witness. He is the one who presents testimony, confirms a fact, and makes a judgment based on his experience and knowledge of the matter. But he was not present. That is why the witness in Joseph's case was not present at what happened between Joseph and the wife of Aziz. He was not present. And they found her master at the door, and a witness, Shahid, from her family testified. This witness, if he had been present at the event, would not have presented evidence. He would have directly said, your wife is wrong, or the young man is the one who harassed her. That is, if the case was harassment in the first place. But he presented evidence, proof, investigation based on his experience. He said, if his shirt is torn from behind, that is, he presented an analysis of Joseph's shirt. He gave a judgment, the result of an investigation. In other words, he said, if you want to know who is wrong, look for the traces of the crime. See if it is torn from the back or from the front. If from the back he was fleeing and she grabbed him. If from the front she was defending herself. But he was not present. Therefore, all the interpretations saying he was a child and that God made him speak and other inventions fall apart. Collected from the story of the son of Pharaoh's barber. All of this comes from Israelite tales, nothing to do with the Qur'an. When he gives testimony, it is based on his knowledge and expertise, like a forensic doctor in a murder case or in a case of adultery. For example, if the doctor presents a report confirming that this woman was raped or that this woman is pregnant, he did an ultrasound, he proved the pregnancy. Therefore, he would be Shahid, meaning expert or non-eyewitness witness, because pregnancy is proof of sexual relations. So the doctor here is a witness, but he was not an eyewitness to the events, let alone a martyr. That is the difference. In the next episode, we will address the different plurals of non-eyewitness and eyewitness and what differences in meanings and connotations exist between them. Until we meet again, I commend you to God. May God's peace be upon you.